I work as a logistics coordinator at a regional distribution warehouse. It's not glamorous, but I like it. I've been there for 7 years, and for the most part, things ran smoothly until we got a new manager named Rick. Now, Rick wasn't your typical bad boss. He didn't yell much, didn't curse, didn't throw tantrums. But he had that corporate disease where he thought every problem could be solved by following the system. You know the type, the ones who live and die by spreadsheets, efficiency charts, and rules that make zero sense in the real world. Before Rick, our warehouse ran on common sense. If something arrived late, we stayed late to sort it. If a shipment got mixed up, we used discretion to fix it without sending it through 6 layers of approval. But Rick? Oh no, everything had to go through him. He said we needed structure. What we really got was bottleneck chaos. The first few weeks were tolerable. He was trying to prove himself, and we figured he'd eventually relax. But he didn't. He'd walk around with his clipboard, making notes on violations. I once got written up for not using a full safety cone perimeter around a pallet that I was loading by myself. Another guy got in trouble for using an unauthorized label printer, which was literally the same model as the one the company issued, just older. Rick was obsessed with rules. Then he started doing the morning briefings. That's when we knew things were going downhill. He'd quote company policy like scripture. Section 4.2 of the Logistics Handbook clearly states that all inbound shipments must be verified by the primary coordinator before 10 a.m. Except half the time, inbound shipments didn't even arrive before 10. One morning, our main delivery from the state supplier showed up late because of a storm. We started unloading around 11. I was scanning barcodes and updating inventory manually to make sure we didn't fall behind. Rick came over, frowning like I'd kicked his dog. "What are you doing?" he asked. "Logging the shipment manually. The system's behind, but we'll catch up." He snatched the clipboard out of my hand. "You're violating policy. Manual updates require approval." I just stared at him. "So you want me to stop working until you approve it?" "That's right. The rules exist for a reason." So I stopped. The other guys saw me standing there doing nothing, and when they asked, I told them, "Rick said no manual work without approval." Within half an hour, half the dock stopped working because technically none of us had approval. Rick freaked out when corporate called asking why our numbers flatlined. He stormed out his office, red in the face, and started barking orders for everyone to get back to work. But by then, we'd all realized something. If we followed the rules exactly the way he demanded, everything would grind to a halt. So we did. Over the next few days, malicious compliance spread through the warehouse like wildfire. A shipment arrived with 3 broken boxes. We couldn't touch them without a damage inspection report. A driver showed up 15 minutes early. We refused to unload until the scheduled arrival time. A barcode scanner glitched. We couldn't continue until IT cleared the device for use. Productivity tanked. Rick was drowning in paperwork because everything now required his sign-off. He'd walk out on the floor, clipboard shaking in his hands, trying to keep up. At one point, he said, "You guys are being ridiculous." And I just smiled. "We're following the rules, boss." He didn't like that. Then came the audit. Every few months, regional corporate sends a team to inspect warehouse operations, safety, efficiency, and compliance. Usually we do fine. But this time, Rick decided to turn it into a spectacle. He wanted to impress the auditors. He called a meeting 2 days before they arrived and said, "No shortcuts. Every policy followed to the letter. I want this place to be the gold standard of compliance." We looked at each other and knew this was going to be fun. The day of the audit, Rick strutted around like he owned the place. The auditors arrived, 2 corporate reps in suits with tablets. They started walking through the dock, taking notes. Rick followed them, reciting policies like he was defending a dissertation. Everything was fine until one of the auditors asked to see how we handled expedited shipments. Now, here's the thing. Expedited shipments are supposed to skip the queue. We're supposed to process them immediately. But Rick's new rule required all shipments, even expedited ones, to be logged through 3 layers of approval before being unloaded. So when the auditors asked for an example, I pointed at the 2 pallets sitting in the corner. Those are expedited. Been here since this morning. The auditor frowned. Why aren't they being processed? Rick jumped in. We're awaiting processing authorization. From who? From me, he said proudly. The auditor raised an eyebrow. You're the one authorizing, and they've been waiting. How long? About 5 hours, I said. You could feel the silence. The auditors exchanged a look and started typing furiously on their tablets. Rick's confidence cracked right there. He tried to blame us, but every answer made him look worse. A week later, corporate sent an email to the entire warehouse team announcing organizational changes. Rick was being transitioned to a different role. Translation: fired. They didn't even try to hide why. In his exit meeting, he apparently tried to throw me under the bus, saying I encouraged poor efficiency. But corporate already had the audit report, which included timestamps and logs showing he personally delayed shipments and refused approvals. A new inner manager stepped in, and within a day, things were back to normal. We started using common sense again. The funniest part? The regional director actually thanked me for bringing the team back in line. I didn't have the heart to tell him that we never went out of line. We just followed Rick's rules exactly like he wanted. Now, whenever someone new starts acting like a mini dictator, I just remind them, careful what you wish for. If you want things done by the book, we'll do it word for word. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to not miss another upload.